What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another 90-day fiance video, and this one itself in particular is all about Eve and Mohammed. And in the most recent episode of 90-Day Fiance, there was a scene where, Mohammed has finally arrived. He's now spent his first night in America, and then boom, Eve drops a bombshell that, for me personally, hit a freaking nerve. But before we continue, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel. Now, with that being said, in a second, I'm going to show you a clip of exactly what went down in this week's episode of 90-Day Fiance before the night. A clip of what happened in this week's episode of 90-Day Fiance season 9, episode 5, I think. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it and then break down exactly what went down and why it hit a freaking nerve.
Alrighty, babe. Over the last 2 years, my son Theron and Mohammed have chatted a lot on video chat. Let's go. He just adores Mohammed, but obviously physically, it's going to be a different situation.
Now, I just want you to remember that she said that for the last 2 years, Mohammed and her son have video chatted and her son adores Mohammed, but it's going to be different physically. So that means she's definitely aware that once Mohammed has arrived and her son gets to meet Mohammed for the first time, obviously there's going to be a slight different situation. Now, let's not forget though, at the same time though, when it came to the very first episode, Eve spoke about how her son had autism, he had Down syndrome, also had a kidney, I think it was kidney disease, I'm not too sure, and there was something else as well. So her son is someone that obviously has 3 to 4 different things happen with himself, so therefore he needs a lot of tender love and care. And trust me, that tender love and care does not come from TLC, even though it is called the Loving Channel, the Learning Channel. But anyway, let's continue as we break down this scene bit by bit so you can really understand where I'm going with this and why this has to be, and why I had to make this video.
Lemon. I definitely hope that he does get along well with Theron, because my son has special needs, and I know it's difficult. It's difficult on me sometimes. I love my son. There's challenges, and it's demanding sometimes. Hello.
Again, let's process that she knows that that it is very demanding. Obviously, when it comes to look after a child, and it's very, very challenging. So therefore, because she knows that it's demanding, very challenging, and of course, it's going to be nice to have some support. She also understands that, she should understand that in this situation, or at least being a parent to a child who's got so many things going on, or several things going on, if you're going to bring a man into your life or anyone into your life to help look after your child, it needs to be someone that has not necessarily experience, but someone that 100% has patience, and someone that is obviously willing to learn, obviously, as they go along. But most importantly, you think that she should at least show the person how to, obviously cater to her son, and obviously explore, because at the end of the day, having a relationship on a video chat compared to having a relationship physically in person, which she knows that she hasn't had yet, or she hasn't given to her son with Mohammed, it is very important that she spends at least the first week, maybe even 2 weeks, it really depends, doesn't it, really and truly, of showing Mohammed, one, how to work the house, because in this episode, we saw that Mohammed struggled with the oven, he struggled with the shower, okay, and weirdly enough, he even struggled with understanding that he needs to put ketchup on his own freaking plate. And the matter of fact is that for a man that is struggling with the fundamental things of life anyway, this is someone that is definitely going to need to be shown how to look after her son physically in person. None of this video chat malarkey nonsense, okay? What do you do if he acts out, okay? If her son obviously has like a meltdown, what should Mohammed do? How should he calm him down, okay? If her son is generally just expressing himself, but he isn't necessarily having a meltdown, Mohammed needs to understand that, okay, in this situation, I don't need to overreact. I can just let him have his moment of time to just express, okay? If he's hungry, what do I make him? How do I make it, okay? But at the end of the day, though, these things have not been displayed by her. But anyway, let's proceed.
We're here. I know that Mohammed does have a heart of gold, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe it could be too much, or maybe, it's not something that he necessarily wants, and I would never hold that against him, but it would break my heart.
The fact that she says that she doesn't even know questions everything. But to be honest with you, her talking about it would break her heart. Listen, lady, this isn't about you and your freaking heart. This is about you making the right choices, not only for yourself, but for your son. So at the end of the day, if you brought a man into your life knowing that, and without knowing whether he's going to be able to handle the responsibility of you, obviously as his woman, and also responsibility of looking after your child, really and truly, the main person that's going to be affected is going to be your son, more or less, because if Mohammed does one thing wrong that might really affect your son, then what? So to be honest, for her even putting herself first in terms of her getting hurt, that should be second priority. First priority is Can he actually do it? Do you know what? Let me make sure he can. And how can I do that? I can show him the way. Has she shown him the way? No. But anyway, let's proceed.
All right. Are you home now?
Yes?
Oh my god.
Darren, yes, look.
Darren!
It's Mohammed.
It's Mohammed. Yes! How are you?
Finally
It's me. How are you? It's so cool. Yeah.
He's finally here.
He's here. He's finally here. We're picking up.
Mommy picked him up in the airport yesterday.
He's so cool.
I know.
Yeah, I'm so excited as well. It was a very amazing feeling when I saw Theron for the first time and he gave me a hug. This hug made me feel that I'm home. I'm so happy.
Yay! Group hug. Group hug. Darren he was just looking at Mohammed like, that he couldn't believe that he was there, like physically there in his own eyes, and he just kept saying, "So cool, so cool." And I couldn't have even anticipated a more beautiful moment.
You like presents, right?
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.
Oh, he has a surprise for you. Toys? Maybe, I don't know.
So let's see.
Happy birthday to Mohammed.
Oh, what's that?
That's good. Toys. That's a wow. It's holy smokes.
Insects.
Oh, it's bugs. Oh, are you gonna trick mommy and pretend there's a
Mommy?
bug?
Yeah, we
Can I
can
trick
put
mommy
some
at
of this in the coffee for mom.
No, thank you.
Now, we're going to try and look at the positive some way down the line. Now, the positive is obviously Mohammed has come prepared in terms of, definitely trying to woo her son and obviously be on his side, which is fantastic because it shows that Mohammed obviously has some form of supportive and caring and love and a space of heart for her son, which is fantastic. But at the same time, though, it is easy to show love and, to show that you care and whatnot, but it's not the same thing when it comes to actually looking after someone when it comes to the hard times. The hard times is when, as human beings, we really get tested how much we really care and love someone and how much we can really put up with certain things that they're going to bring to the table. And at this moment in time, obviously, Mohammed hasn't experienced that. And to be honest with you, here's another thing as well. Has she even educated him on anything? Because remember, it's not like her son only has one thing going on. He's got 7 things going on. Has she actually educated him on each and every single one of them? But most importantly, she could have done that over the 2 years on the video calls, but the main thing is role playing them, saying, okay, so I know I've told you these things, but now let me role play them to you, or at least shadow me for the next couple of days or however long it takes, okay, and just watch obviously how I obviously respond to my son when he does certain things. And hopefully you can also do the same thing as well. Not hopefully, but you can also do the same things as well to show me that you have no issues with it, and you're never going to make my son feel as if he's not like everyone else. Because one of the worst things that anyone can ever do in this world is to make anyone feel like as if they're not the same as anyone else. And that doesn't come down to just people that are on the spectrum per se. I'm talking about people from whether it's your race, it's your culture, it's your background, whatever it could be. No one should ever be made to feel as if they're different. Do you know what I mean? So those things are always going to be a key factor as well. But the fact is, though, she hasn't even vetted none of these things, which therefore then really got on my nerves when it came to something that she says later on down the line, which is something that we will get to, ladies and gentlemen.
One for Darren.
It's finger
Darren.
Yeah.
Okay. Mohammed.
Yeah.
That's for you.
Can I have some ketchup in here?
Yeah, of course.
Enough.
Okay.
You like it, Theron?
Yeah, it's good. That's so good.
Mom did a good job, right? That's good to know before I eat.
Thanks, babe. Alrighty.
You're right.
Get this so warm. This bun is so warm. All right.
That's so good, babe. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're so cute.
It's just so great to see you two together. He's comfortable with you. Aw. So, I mean, I know that it's probably not like what you're used to, but it would be helpful, obviously, like, since you're home. Do you feel like it'll be okay, like, with Darren, if you're the one who's going to be with him in the afternoons?
Okay.
Okay.
He's a good boy, right?
Yeah.
Mohammed is very well aware that I've been struggling to find consistent childcare, and that is going to be his role to assist me so I can work.
Imagine you just flew all the way from Egypt to America. Lord knows how long that flight is. The first night you land, great. We meet, we cuddle, we have our sexy time. And then next morning you wake up, she's off to work. She hasn't shown you the house, how it works, where everything is necessarily, which is why earlier on in the episode, there was a few little bloopers from Mohammed, right? We could blame him and say that he should be more of a man and understand how things work. But at the same time, though, we all know that he's a man-child, like a serious man-child. And Eve should have really picked up on that herself in particular. And the fact that she hasn't picked up on that is very worrying about her own character. But here's the thing, though. That's what happens day one. Okay. Now, obviously, so all in day one is that so obviously he lands within the next day. Literally, we've gone through so many things all in one here. Left the home by himself on his first night, without knowing how the house works, and then boom, it's the first dinner with the family, and she's telling him, by the way, you're going to be a babysitter. Straight off the bat, just so you know, you're going to be looking after him, obviously, without no explanation, without no role modeling, without shadowing me and anything like that. Okay, you're going to look after my son moving forward. Straight off the bat. Now, here's the thing, though. There's nothing wrong with that, because if you're going to date someone who's got a child, you're going to obviously have to take a responsibility of being a step parent. But without a shadow of a doubt, that's a no-brainer. But if you're going to expect someone to look after your child, someone that has never met your child, has only met your child for the very first time, and someone that's a man-child himself in particular, and you haven't even shown him the way, that is absolutely berserk. Because I can tell you this now firsthand, when I was working in primary schools, okay, and I was working with kids on the spectrum, when they said to me, hey, we want you to one-to-one with this child here in the afternoon and this child in the morning, I'd be like, okay, cool. Can you please let me know everything what's going on with the child, so therefore I know exactly what I need to do. I don't want to go in there blindsided. Because I tell you this now, the very first time I had a job as a one-to-one, I was blindsided. They didn't tell me that this kid was non-verbal. They didn't tell me that he had a brain of a kid of an 80-month child. You know what I mean? They just said, hey man, he's in year 2, which means he's like 7 years of age, okay? And you know, we obviously need you to support him. I'm like, okay, cool. I got in there. I'm talking to the kid. Man just looking at me, thinking, bro, like, are you gonna talk to me or what? And I was like, hello? Oh, teacher goes, oh, sorry. Yeah, he's non-verbal. Oh, that would have been nice to know. You know what I mean? Okay. All right, cool. Let's see what we can do. Can I get him to respond with numbers, alphabets, anything like that? You know what I mean? But of course, these things are good things to know. But here's the thing though, that's me doing this on a role of me working in a school with a kid. I'm in an environment where if something goes wrong, there's other people who are going to be able to come in and hopefully support me and help me out and let me know if I do anything wrong, because I haven't been educated, right? So the good thing is there is a foreplan. This is the thing though. She's leaving him in a house with her son. He doesn't even know the neighborhood. The probably doesn't even know the neighbors. She's going to go to work for however many hours that she's going to work. Is he going to be able to pick up the phone and get her to come home straight away? Probably not. I mean, probably could, but probably not going to happen. So the fact that she hasn't even shown him the way, she's literally like, the fact is, something that Mohammed says earlier on in this episode is that I thought you'd at least taken a couple of days out of work to spend time with me because I've just arrived. But no, she went straight back into work. And you think within those couple of days that she should have taken off, those are the couple of days where she could have literally just modeled to him, this is how I do things. This is the routine. And let's not forget, a routine, with most children or most people on the spectrum need to have a routine most of the time. Okay, a routine is something that really helps them obviously plan out the rest of the day. Okay, the routine, where is it? Now, don't get me wrong though, there is the other side of this where we could say that maybe TLC have just edited out certain things. But here's the thing though. Even if TLC, let's say she's done all these things and this is TLC's doing. The problem is though, is that this is now being viewed by people who are in the same position as her or in the same position as her. And I don't want no one to watch this show and think that it's okay to bring a partner into your life without you actually educating your partner on every single thing that your child goes through, you know, everything that they need to know. And you showing them is the most important part. And most importantly, you want to make sure that when you leave your child to someone, your child is comfortable. The amount of parents that leave their child with another human being that their child is uncomfortable with is absolutely despicable. How did she know? Just because they've got along on video chat, just because they've got along straight away right now, it doesn't mean that their relationship is that solid. You need to be able to advise and supervise it yourself for at least a couple of days to make sure that your son is 100% comfortable. Because if he's not, and he acts out, and Mohammed doesn't know what to do, there's only one person to blame, and that is the parent that was stupid enough to leave their child because they didn't want to make the right. Miss me with the BS, right? But anyway, let's proceed and finish off the rest of this scene.
I've been struggling to find consistent childcare, and that is going to be his role to assist me so I can work. I trust Mohammed to be alone with my son versus finding a babysitter. But the reality is, it's not just going to be an afternoon. Sometimes it might be a whole day. So I hope that he can handle that.
I trust someone that's never spent a day with my son, and this is the thing that makes it even more just spectacular, doesn't it? It's not even an afternoon; it's a whole day. Some days a full day, some days. So basically, she found a man abroad, and she wanted him to become the caretaker of her son because it's cheaper, and because she trusts him. Now, I'm not saying that trusting him is a bad thing per se, but there's a fine line between you trusting him in terms of you know he's not going to do anything bad, compared to trusting him in terms of you know that he's going to be fine. How does she know that Mohammed is going to be fine? But you know what I found quite interesting though, to be honest with you? I mean, in the UK anyway, I don't know about overseas, but in the UK, predominantly children that are on the spectrum, okay, usually they get certain things for free, you know? I'm not too sure if childcare is one of them. I don't think it is, to be fair, but I know like they can join certain groups, you know what I mean, that can be catered for those children to have for free, you know what I'm saying, okay? And it seems to me as if maybe there's something that isn't put in play. I don't know, you know what I mean? Oh, I guess it's not really and truly, but either way though, this whole scene, this whole thing is just the most triggering thing that I have seen in my TLC freaking days, purely because it hits home in terms of me having this profession in my life, or being in this profession within my life, and still knowing people right now. You know what I mean? I have friends with children on the spectrum, okay? At the end of the day, like I know for sure, if I was to ring one of my friends right now and say, hey, guess what? I'm watching 90 Day Fiancé and I just saw a woman fly a man from Egypt and is basically going to become the caretaker, the babysitter to her child, and she hasn't even shown him how to do it. She hasn't even showed him the way. In fact, this guy doesn't even know if the neighbors can help him. I'll be surprised if this guy even knows her number. I'll be surprised if he even knows how to use the phone to ring an emergency. This ain't cool, man. This ain't cool. But let's just continue a little bit more.
No idea. I don't have to worry about like wondering where he's gonna go every single day.
I like Theron, and I don't mind to help if I left everything, my country and my family, and my ability to have other dreams in Egypt, and I came here to be living with Eve. But I am feeling a little bit more a babysitter than being a fiancé. I am not prepared to do these female duties in my next 90 days.
And the matter of fact is, no one could even blame him, because of the fact is this there. He left his country where he said he had things going on, but he left to come here to be with a woman that he fell in love with, or a woman that at least he expected to be his mother. Let's not forget that. He expected her to look after him at the same way his mother did, but instead, he's come over to look after her son. Literally, this man is literally a boy. He's literally a man that she's using for the D and also for babysitting services. That's literally it, honestly. That is the vibes that I'm getting here. I'm not getting no vibes of her really having these crazy feelings for him. Not in any way. Honestly, I'm very disappointed in TLC even bringing this couple to the screen. And but most important, I'm very, very disappointed in her. She should know better. But like I said before, maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm reaching. But the matter of fact is though, this is what TLC have aired, and this is how they've aired it, and this is exactly how I'm going to judge it. I can only hope that I'm wrong, but to be fair with you, I've got a feeling that there's a chance that maybe I'm not, because really and truly, anyone who's a parent in general, not just a parent as in just in general, would not want to be put on a TV screen showing that they are careless in terms of who they're bringing in to their child's life, and giving that person the responsibility literally on day one of arriving. Day one. This isn't a couple of days, this is day one. And to make it worse, she clearly didn't even vet him. She clearly didn't even have a conversation with him about it, because he's like, whoa, I came here to you know, XYZ, and now you're telling me I gotta do this? And do you know what's crazy? Like, it's as if she doesn't even expect him to get a job in the end. Does she not understand that like he might want to work after his 90 days? So the fact that she's not even expecting him to get a job, and she's expecting him to basically be the babysitter, and she's just going to be working all the time, that's no life. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm going to go out on a whim and just say to you, this is flat out neglect. It seems to me as if she wants to throw a kid to someone else so she can go off, work all day, do whatever she's got to do, okay, whilst a random human being that she met in a different country looks after her child all the time, and he doesn't have to work because she's going to look after everything. That ain't right, man. That ain't right. I mean, is he even going to be able to have a social life of his own? Anyway, I'm just going to stop there before I go off the rails, because right now I'm getting very agitated and peed off. But nonetheless, though, thank you so much for your time. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section. If there's anything that I missed that you'd like to add in the comment section, please do that. I would really appreciate that for other people to read as well. Because like I said before, the matter of fact is I don't like the way this is being portrayed. For anyone else that could be in this position who may be motivated to now go find someone to babysit their child because this human decided to think it was a good idea too. Hey, anyway, like, subscribe, and peace.